Italy stunned England 23-18 in Rome. 5 key takeaways from a historic Six Nations clash. Italy produced one of the most remarkable performances in their rugby history as they defeated England 23-18 in a dramatic Six Nations encounter at the Stadio Olimpico in Rome. The victory was not merely another result in the tournament standings. It felt like a defining moment for Italian rugby, a breakthrough that had been decades in the making. For England, however, the loss raised serious questions about their direction, discipline, and leadership heading into the final stages of the championship. Here are 5 major takeaways from an afternoon that could reshape the narrative of both teams. 1. A historic moment for Italian rugby. For Italy, this victory represented far more than just 2 competition points. It symbolized years of growth, resilience, and belief finally paying off on one of rugby's biggest European stages. Since joining the Six Nations in 2000, Italy have often been viewed as the tournament's underdogs. While they have produced memorable moments and occasional victories over top teams, consistency has remained elusive. Yet the triumph against England felt different. It had the atmosphere of a watershed moment, the kind of performance that signals a nation's rugby program has truly matured. The Stadio Olimpico erupted at the final whistle as players, coaches, and supporters celebrated a victory that had been 33 attempts in the making. The significance of the result extended beyond the scoreboard. It was validation for a squad that has been building steadily under the guidance of head coach Gonzalo Quesada. Italy played with a blend of composure, ambition, and defensive intensity that suggested they now belong firmly among Europe's competitive rugby nations. Their performance was not based on luck or a single flash of brilliance. Instead, it was built on discipline, structured play, and a willingness to exploit England's weaknesses whenever the opportunity arose. England certainly contributed to their own downfall, particularly through poor discipline and ill-timed penalties. However, Italy fully deserved the victory. They controlled key moments of the game, remained calm under pressure, and took their scoring chances with confidence. For Italian rugby fans, the victory felt like the culmination of years of development. For the rest of Europe, it served as a reminder that the traditional hierarchy of the Six Nations is no longer guaranteed. 2. Menoncello and Brex lead Italy's charge. 2 players stood out above all others in Italy's historic win: Tommaso Menoncello and Ignacio Brex. Their performances highlighted both the talent and character within the current Italian squad. Menoncello has long been regarded as one of Italy's brightest young stars, and his display against England confirmed why. The powerful center played with remarkable confidence and authority, delivering a performance that combined attacking flair with physical dominance. He scored 1 try and created another, while repeatedly breaking through England's defensive line. Menoncello's ability to run direct lines with strength and speed caused constant problems for England's midfield defenders. By the final whistle, he had amassed nearly 90 meters in carries and several crucial line breaks. What made his performance particularly impressive was the composure he displayed under pressure. Rather than forcing opportunities, Menoncello waited for the right moments to attack, showing maturity well beyond his years. Alongside him, vice-captain Ignacio Brex delivered an equally inspirational performance. Brex's influence was felt throughout the match, especially in defense, where his reading of the game repeatedly shut down England's attacking moves. Brex's performance carried additional emotional weight due to personal challenges he has been dealing with away from the field. Despite those difficulties, he played with immense determination and leadership. His defensive organization, breakdown work, and relentless tackling ensured Italy maintained control during crucial phases of the game. Together, Menoncello and Brex embodied the evolution of Italian rugby, a team now capable of producing world-class players who can dominate matches against top-tier opponents. 3. The aerial battle that changed the game. In the early stages of the match, England appeared to have identified a potential weakness in Italy's defense. The aerial contest, England's kicking strategy, focused heavily on contestable kicks, allowing their chasers to compete for possession in the air. For the first 10 minutes, the plan seemed to work perfectly. England won 9 consecutive aerial contests, gaining valuable territory and placing pressure on the Italian backfield. However, The momentum soon shifted dramatically that Italy's wingers, Louis Lineac and Monty Ione, began challenging England's kicks more aggressively. Their timing and bravery under the high ball gradually turned the contest in Italy's favor. Within a short period, Italy won 7 of the next 8 aerial duels. This sudden reversal changed the entire territorial dynamic of the match. England's kicking game, which had been their primary attacking strategy, became ineffective as Italy began reclaiming possession and launching counterattacks. Lineau's performance stood out in particular. While his aerial skills were impressive, he also contributed with strong carries and excellent work at the breakdown. His energy and determination helped Italy maintain momentum during critical phases of the game, by neutralizing England's aerial tactics. Italy forced their opponents to rely on alternative attacking methods. Unfortunately for England, those alternatives rarely materialized. Discipline issues cost England dearly. England's defeat was not solely due to Italy's excellence. A significant factor in the result was England's deteriorating discipline, which repeatedly handed Italy valuable scoring opportunities. The turning point came when 2 England players were sent to the sin bin, leaving their team temporarily reduced to 13 men. During those periods, Italy seized control of the match and capitalized on England's weakened defensive structure. Paolo Garbisi punished England's indiscipline by converting crucial penalty kicks, steadily adding points to Italy's tally. Meanwhile, Italy's attacking players found greater space as England struggled to reorganize their defensive line. Even before the yellow cards, England's discipline had been under scrutiny throughout the tournament. Penalties at the breakdown, offside infringements, and careless defensive decisions have plagued their campaign. Against Italy, those issues reached a critical point. With experienced players such as Mauro Itoje spending time in the sin bin, England's defensive organization collapsed. The breakdown battle, which had previously been competitive, quickly shifted in Italy's favor. Sam Underhill had delivered a strong defensive performance before his departure from the field, but without his presence, England's ability to disrupt Italy's ball carriers diminished significantly. By the time England returned to a full complement of players, the damage had already been done. 5. Mounting pressure on Steve Borthwick. Perhaps the most significant consequence of this defeat is the pressure it places on England head coach Steve Borthwick. Heading into the match, Borthwick made the controversial decision to introduce 9 changes to the starting lineup. While squad rotation can be necessary during a demanding tournament, the scale of the changes raised questions about England's preparation and priorities. For Italy, the match represented one of the most important opportunities in their rugby history. England's extensive changes may have underestimated the significance of the occasion. Although fly-half Finn Smith showed flashes of creativity, including 2 moments that led to England tries, the team lacked cohesion and strategic clarity. Too often, England found themselves pinned deep in their own territory, unable to generate sustained attacking pressure point. One of the most persistent criticisms of Borthwick's tenure has been England's lack of attacking pace. Their offensive structure frequently relies on predictable patterns, allowing opposing defenses to anticipate their moves. Against Italy, that issue was glaringly obvious. England's attack lacked the speed and unpredictability required to break down a disciplined defensive system. A defining day for both teams. Italy's victory over England will be remembered as one of the most significant moments in the nation's rugby history. It demonstrated the progress Italy has made and highlighted the emergence of a new generation of talented players capable of competing with the sport's traditional powerhouses.